And here we are, man. The ultimate fight fans. Joey KO, Mixed Martial Mike, and we got a special guest. Longtime friend, longtime fight fan, aka financial advisor. We got Hammerhead Heck in full effect. What's up, Heck?
What's going on, fellas? How you guys feeling?
The reason why I call him Hammerhead Heck is because back in high school, somebody tried to steal his North Face, and he straight hammerhead butted the shit out of that dude.
Who does that?
It was so bad, people thought that I had a gang with me, and he got jumped by like 10 dudes. That's so bad.
What is next for Conor McGregor?
I was disappointed as hell.
We know you were, because you love Conor McGregor. These guys.
Wait a minute, you're telling me that Michael is a Conor dick rider?
Pansexual, bro. Before those casuals was in love with him,
I'm not gonna lie. The first time that I ever seen Conor McGregor, he was telling me he was gonna be a future world champion. He was
from
gonna
the
beat
beginning.
Aldo, and I'm like, he's not gonna beat Aldo.
He's gonna knock him out. And I told him about Stipe Miocic. And I told him Marquez was gonna beat
there you go. I mean, he became a champ. I get it.
The pandemic hit. They didn't want to invest in Conor McGregor at that time. They kept him on ice. But I think it was a bad idea because Dustin kept fighting against the world's best.
I'm gonna agree with you on that one because even Conor's fight after Habib was Cowboy, and you saw how that ended. That wasn't a very competitive fight for Conor. Those shoulders to the face in the clinch, I've never ever thought about doing something like that in an actual fight, but I can see how you could really dominate if you have the right work, the right motion.
Maybe Conor can headbutt his way through that dude. It was over.
There was a point when Conor said, I thought I was checking every kick, but I realized later that I wasn't checking shit. I thought I was checking them, but I wasn't. He was taking the damage in. When Anderson Silva fought Chris Weidman, and Anderson Silva kicked Weidman, he checks it. Silva's leg turned into rubber, not just because of the check, but the way the angle of how he checked the shit. Like the thing like ricocheted and it just snapped. So before you know it, that was gonna happen to Conor. But the other way.
Wait, are we giving Chris Weidman credit?
Yes.
For Anderson Silva breaking his leg? I don't think so.
No,
Are
it's
we?
Weidman that actually.
We're not giving him credit now, are we?
His technique is what caused the break to break his leg. Just like when you headbutt somebody, you hit him with this part right here, because that's the hardest part of the head. If you fuck around,
bro, I have this part of my head flat because of that.
They don't know how to do shit.
Could you imagine how Anderson Silva feels about Chris Weidman?
Dirty hoe.
He acted a fool, got knocked out, and then in the rematch, he breaks his leg against him. He's like, oh, I'm hexed.
Let's go back to what did Conor get right? What did he do right versus what did he do wrong? Like in the striking department,
right?
I'm giving it to Conor. Conor dominated that one round where it was just a matter of my output versus how much can Dustin tolerate. With Conor's left hook, it's all a matter of let me make sure I landed flush on Dustin. Dustin's head movement was there all night. And like they call me Hammerhead Hack. If you have your head on a swivel, nobody's gonna catch you. Dustin did take some shots, and that's where Conor kind of had it right. He just had to bring up the volume.
He got hit with counter shots because of what he was doing right. He was doing so well on the striking that I think he left himself open at times without realizing.
If you watch the fight, he was not in his typical striking, kicking range. He was in a boxing range. He wasn't even throwing many distance kicking. He usually throws the hip kick to the stomach, the front kick to the stomach. He wants to go to boxing. And you can actually see it in the way he approached the fight. He was trying to bring that to MMA. But what made him special was his stance.
That was Conor's problem because he went in there looking for a striking fight. Dustin was kicking Conor like he was chopping a tree.
True.
Because this guy's calf went from this to this. Conor couldn't stand on this right side.
No, he couldn't.
That sucks. Like it goes to show you how like a lot of people take that calf muscle for granted, and that calf muscle holds up the whole entire right side of your body. I never thought of that.
How long you think before he could come back? I think it's gonna be a while.
After the summer.
So does Dustin Poirier rush to come back against Du Bronx, or does he wait for that trilogy money against Conor McGregor? Because if he rushes back, I would like to see Conor versus Tony Ferguson. They both coming off of a loss. That would be great. Or Nate Diaz 3. Or Nate Diaz 3, since Nate Diaz is coming off of a loss.
Khabib is out of the question. Let's be honest. If Khabib comes back, he's probably gonna fight Oliveira or Dustin Poirier.
But didn't Poirier mention that he wants to fight Diaz?
Well, that's a possibility too.
Big money fight.
But Nate Diaz is probably gonna end up fighting the trilogy with Conor McGregor.
Uncle Dana is not gonna let Nate fight Dustin after Dustin beat Hooker, and then Dustin beats what's his name?
Conor.
McGregor. We gotta give Dustin a top 3. Who's left in that 155 that
Chandler.
Dustin hasn't fought?
Michael Chandler, Charles Oliveira.
Wait. No. Hold on. Before we get into the Chandler agenda, think about that Michael Chandler and Dan Hooker fight. Mike Chandler obviously dominated, right?
Right.
But
he definitely did.
This is Mike Chandler's first fight. Are we gonna give Mike Chandler the keys to the fucking kingdom already?
Nah. I think
Not
Oliveira,
Not yet.
Look, if Khabib is out of the question, we don't know. But it looks like he's retired, right? The fighters that deserve the title shot is Oliveira and Dustin Poirier. Then you're talking about Tony versus McGregor as a fight if the Nate Diaz doesn't happen.
Chandler versus McGregor is good too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that.
Or even Dan Hooker versus Tony. You know, there's some possibilities.
The UFC matchmakers like to put fighters that are coming off of a loss against fighters that are coming off of a loss. They like to put winners against winners, losers against losers. That is a known UFC
They like
formula.
to make money. And the fight that makes money is Conor McGregor versus Nate
McGregor,
Diaz.
where anybody makes money. This pay-per-view did 1.6 million.
All right, but
1.6 million.
what is the
So this was really Conor's second highest growth, right?
Other than that, the record breakers was the first 2 Nate Diaz fights.
Yep.
So that's a money
What was
fight.
the record before that? Jose Aldo McGregor.
I understand that.
McGregor's the name that matches all these events.
I would say that is the most profitable rivalry in UFC history, easily.
Which one? The Habib and Conor?
Well, Khabib hasn't fought 2 times, but if Khabib and McGregor would have fought the second time,
but
it would have
Khabib,
eclipsed it.
we're assuming that Khabib is retired now. So
I'm not assuming that because don't you think?
No, you can't assume that, bro. No, you can't assume that.
Numbers
Remember,
don't
he's
lie.
still in the roster.
Numbers don't lie, and the biggest rivalry financially has been Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor.
No, it's
Yeah.
not true.
Yeah.
The numbers
Yes,
is
it is.
Khabib.
No, it's not, because he did how many? 2 million in one fight?
2 million in one fight.
Okay, in
They
2
1 point
fights,
something in
they
each.
did over 3 point something. 3 point.
Yeah, but Khabib and
Oh.
Conor, don't get it twisted. The fight could still happen. Khabib has not said he's retired yet.
Right. He's still
Well,
on
that's
the
not
roster.
true.
Look,
He
you
has said he's
sound like
retired.
a fan.
No, I'm not. I don't sound like a fan
You
at
know
all.
that most
Heck.
likely
Heck,
that fight is not gonna happen.
he is not retired. Heck, he is
I
not.
know, well, no,
retired.
he's still in the
said that.
roster. They're all in the roster.
He's still
I
on
know,
the
but
roster.
Khabib does not sound convincing to me that he's gonna come back and fight. Just because he took the USADA, he's keeping shit on ice, but before you know it, I think he's gonna give it up because I don't think he wants to fight Dustin again.
Now,
And I always liked Chandler.
okay.
I just never thought he would come to the UFC because every time they asked him, he would say, "I love Bellator, and I'm just gonna stay here." And then I think he realized that in order to be the number 1 guy, since he's been in the top 5 for so long, if you really want to be number 1, you got to come to the powerhouse and make that money.
If you hear Michael Chandler, he actually says a story, and this is not only Michael Chandler. A lot of Bellator fighters say they don't get the credit they deserve from the casuals. When you talk to a casual about MMA, the first thing that comes up to their minds is the UFC. Just like if you brought up wrestling, WWE comes up. Just like if you brought up basketball, the NBA comes up. Due to the marketing genius of the UFC, that's what you think of first. So that's what gets in the way. But Michael Chandler is actually a pretty credible fighter, even for a guy who just made it into the UFC. He beat Eddie Alvarez and has an amazing trilogy that he could have easily had won 2 of the 3 fights easily. Although he lost the trilogy, he could have easily won 2 of the 3 fights. The fights are extremely close. Eddie Alvarez became a champion. And if you notice it right now, fighters that lose big fights can win big fights. A guy, I believe in Michael Bisping his entire career. Once USADA came in and started cleaning up the sport, he knocked his rival out. A guy he lost to, he got knocked out by, and then knocked him out. So this is the lovely thing about combat sports and the UFC.
Back to the Dan Hooker, Mike Chandler beatdown. He's been calling out Khabib since he came into the UFC, and
Right.
I mean, the only way that you get somebody's attention is by calling people out. But I guess in his situation, I want to see him beat another contender. I'll watch Chandler smoke Tony.
Who did Oliveira come off winning? He beat Tony Ferguson, who was coming off of a loss, but it's still Tony Ferguson. So.
Yeah, but let Tony fight Chandler.
He beat him.
Okay,
Man,
but this is a valid
yeah.
question. How much higher could you rise in the ranks if you beat a guy who just came off of a loss?
No, but he's got a
I'm just
few
asking.
wins. It's the old.
Yeah, like remember.
What about
Tony-
Michael Chandler
Tony-
versus Justin Gaethje?
Remember, Tony was scheduled to fight Khabib 3 times.
4, 5 times. 5 times.
What the?
What? Damn. That fight is
Yo,
definitely cursed.
and the 5th time was due to COVID.
Oh.
So what that means is that fight is not meant to happen. That's it. If
Yo.
you try to do Khabib Tony 6, the world might explode. So that's just
No. That and Tony already had like 3 losses back to back. Cut that out.
Yo.
Yeah, the chances of that
He
fight
got 2
happening-
losses.
You
right now.
saw
He got 2
you
losses.
saw Gaethje smoke Tony.
This is why I always love to compare the UFC at its highest point in boxing, because what boxing structure never allows is the best to fight the best continuously. In the UFC, week after week, month after month, pay-per-view after pay-per-view, the best are fighting the best. And this is why you see Justin Gaethje win, then lose. We thought Justin Gaethje was the future, he loses. Then Dustin Poirier loses to Khabib. Well, Dustin Poirier ain't gonna do shit against Conor. Conor's gonna knock him out. Dustin Poirier comes back and finishes him. Max Holloway loses the belt, in my opinion, came back and beat Volkanovski. So this is the loveliness about this sport.
Now, who do we have Max Holloway fight after that freaking show that he put on? I mean, he put on a clinic. I mean, I've seen stuff on Dragon Ball Z that Max Holloway was doing in the octagon.
landed so many goddamn punches. Like this
Yeah,
guy
'cause I'd
got
say-
hit with more punches and strikes than any other fighter in UFC history.
So, but does that mean he got the weakest punches in the UFC?
He's not the hardest hitter. It's just that he can maneuver inside the octagon like a fucking athlete. Is basically like he's an athlete. Like he's a beast. Who do we have Max fight? Can we give Max a title shot since that last loss that Max had was kind of stolen?
No matter what, you gotta put him against another top three. I mean, it doesn't make sense for him to fight anybody higher.
If he's not fighting Volkanovski, I agree with that.
I don't know how he won those two fights. Maybe the first one. was
No, the
closer.
first one I believe he won. The second one I believe Max won.
So
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
real fight at the end of the day.
At that division for sure.
Yeah, I think Max needs that title around his waist. Oh, wait a minute. You know who's coming back in about a month or two for another drug test?
TJ Dillashaw.
Oh, you got it. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. What up?
Ooh.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
You don't like
hold on,
snakes.
hold on.
I like
Wait a
TJ
minute.
Dillashaw.
I thought you didn't like snakes in the grass.
Wait,
I'm
hold
McGregor's
on,
friend.
Hold on, Connor. Hold on.
I'm McGregor's boy.
TJ Dillashaw, he may have lost twice to Henry. Was it twice or just once?
Once.
He only lost once? I thought they fought
I
twice.
don't want to hear that while we recording, B. He's over here chewing like a monkey or over here trying to record. Nobody want to hear that while you eat.
Can we have TJ come back, redeem himself against Cody?
But Cody's coming off a big win. Don't you think you're rewarding him by giving him Cody? I don't think that's the good image you want to give to a guy who's coming off a drug failure.
Who's holding the belt in the 135?
Peter Yan.
He's gonna fight Mr. Come in Your Ass.
Aljamain Sterling.
Aljamain Sterling. You remember that meltdown that you said, I'm coming on your ass? I mean, pause. He's gonna come on that ass, bro.
Yo, you guys are the worst.
You guys are weird.
On the Ultimate Fight Fans, we want to focus on some Puerto Rican prospects in boxing, but there's actually a Puerto Rican prospect in the bantamweight division in the UFC. His name is Rob Font, and he's just coming off a big win in the top 10, and he's positioned himself pretty well for a title shot pretty soon. He's a good striker. That's what he's known for, his boxing.
Nice. What do we do with TJ Dillashaw? Can we have him fight somebody?
Give him someone like a Rob Font, up and coming that's trying
summertime?
to prove himself, because we can't give him Aljamain Come in Your Ass Sterling's.
Pedro, what's his name? Pedro.
Pedro Munoz.
What's the deal with? Is he out or is he still in the roster?
I believe he's in the roster.
Yeah,
When was the last
can
thing
have
he
him
did?
fight Pedro Munoz.
Yeah, someone like that. I'm saying someone in that range, because
Yeah,
we don't know, because we got to see what TJ Dillashaw still got in. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, because that's a match I like to see. I got Miocic and Ngannou. Do we want to do that rematch, or are we over the Ngannou hype?
I believe it's already confirmed.
Yeah,
Steve
is
it?
Yeah, for March or April.
Nice,
It's happening.
nice,
that's
nice.
confirmed.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I like Ngannou's chances in this fight. I think Stipe is still the better fighter.
I don't.
I don't think he
I
has
like Ngannou's
I
chances.
don't think he has a chance. If Stipe has shown us anything, is that, and when his back is against the wall, he could win. And not only can he
He's
win,
also
he
been
does
knocked
win.
out before.
And those in a fight that he was favored in. He was favored to win the first fight against Daniel Cormier,
Ngannou
and came back and beat him twice in a
can
row.
knock anybody and their mother out.
He didn't learn much because he knocked both those fools out. That's like saying Deontay Wilder learned by knocking out Brazil.
That's
They
why he's
don't
getting
learn.
a title shot, because he continues to knock motherfuckers dead.
Has Ngannou fought the black is
Black
it the
Beast.
Black Beast?
Oh, he actually
Yeah.
did beat him, didn't he? No, he lost to the Black Beast.
And that fight was
He
probably
lost.
the
It was
worst fight in
boring as
history.
hell. But it's because, the Black Beast was fighting him from the outside. He didn't want to get in too close. So
Neither wanted to get
he
in.
ended up losing the decision. It was a bad fight.
Neither wanted to get in. They threw the least amount of punches in UFC history. Literally, that's a fact.
And
Yeah,
he probably hits harder than anybody ever in
maybe
the history of mankind.
his biggest benefit is his biggest holdback.
Oh, it
Well,
is.
here's the
But
Here's the
when
problem
you
with
knock
Ngannou though.
everybody
Look,
out.
bro, here's the problem that Ngannou has when he's fighting somebody like DC or Stipe. DC, gold medal wrestler. If he can wrestle,
Oh, this is cool.
5, 4.
You're moving the camera on yourself, dog. I'm the star of the show. You're like Robin. I'm Batman.
Nice.
Every time you talk, the crowd goes. Yeah, but why is it disappearing on him? Like maybe you're a vampire or something. We're taking this shit serious. Like 3.
You're too close to the camera. See if you back up, both of you.
Now, just
There
put
you
it
go.
back.